वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय गणपति विनाशनहारी गणपति विनाशनहारी जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय। लंबोदर पीतांबर सोहे हरि मन मुकुट नयन रत्नारे लंबोदर पीतांबर सोहे हरि मन मुकुट नयन रत्नारे गज मन माल गले ब्रिज सोहे गज मन माल गले ब्रिज सोहे पाल लाल में चंद्र कलाई गणपति बेन विनाशनहारी गणपति बेन विनाशनहारी जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय। मोदक लेत देत जननी जब चुमक चलत नो उर्जन कारे मोदक लेत देत जननी जब चुमक चलत नो उर्जन कारे रिद्धि सिद्धि तो जबर दुलावत रिद्धि सिद्धि तो जबर दुलावत सुर समोहगति कोट सुकारे गणपति बेन विनाशनहारे गणपति बेन विनाशनहारे जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणेश जय गणपति जय जय। उद्धार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे भव पार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे उद्धार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे भव पार
Sound 1 2 3. Sound check 1 2 1. बुरे श्रमापति महादेव की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। Prabhakto Jambira very devotees and bhaktas, Shubh Swagatam and welcome to this evening's Sandhya. As you join this evening with Uncle Kenny and of course Auntie Oma in celebrating the beautiful gift of life and celebrating life itself, the wonderful darshan and blessings of Bhagwan. Offering gratitude this evening to the lotus-like feet of Bhagwan Hari, my dear friends, devotees and bhaktas, completing our Bedi Puja, worship, oblations and offerings to the respected Devis and Devatas, joining in beautiful bhajan and kirtan glorifying the divine. We are about to join in a beautiful katha, a wonderful katha taken from the golden pages of the Shiv Mahapuran and also taken from the pages of the Ganesh Upasana. My dear friends, devotees and bhaktas, Karaucha, I invite you all to please stand as you join in our opening arti this evening. Sajam chavarti samyuktam vahina maya deepagrihan revasya त्रैलोक्यातिमिरापहम् गणपति की सेवा मंगलमेवा सेवा से सब विघ्न टरे तीन लोक के सकल देवता द्वार परे निज अरज हरे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता। रिद्धि सिद्धि के दक्षिण माला औद अनंत से चतुर रे धूप दीप रे आरती भक्ति करे जयकार करे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता। रिद्धि सिद्धि के दक्षिण माला औद अनंत से चतुर रे धूप दीप रे आरती भक्ति करे जयकार करे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता। गौरी के मोदक भोग लगे है पोषक वाहन चर परे समारोह परे श्री गणपति को विघ्न परे जय दूर बरे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता। शुद्ध शुक्ल चतुर्थी दीन रूप आभरूर बरे लियो जन्म गणपति प्रभु जी के पार्वती मन आनंद बरे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता दंत गज वरन विनायक त्रियानंद रूप रे परा कुमार धीक पुस्तसी धीक चंद्रमा हस्त करे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता मेरे फ्रेंड्स devotees and bhaktas, whilst we worship Ganapati Baba today, we offer salutations to the lotus-like feet of Bhagavati Mata. Invite in the presence of the Divine Mother Oma, may you continue to guide us, may you continue to protect us from time to time, we pray. गणपति पूजा पार्वती मन आकाम शोरसी निर्गुण सरे पूजा कर जो लिए आरती यस्त त्रश के कर परे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता गजानन है दुख हरता गजानन है दुख हरता हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता। एक बार बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की सत्य सनातन धर्म की। You may have your respectful seats this evening. Once more again, let me say swagatam and welcome to all you wonderful bhaktas and devotees joining with us this evening at the residence of Uncle Kenny and Miss Oma Ramcharan and their wonderful Parivaran family. To all those joining with us via our live stream on Media Concepts 29 and also on my Facebook page, Shivanji. This evening, my dear friends and devotees, we are about to join in a beautiful katha. As we commence this Bhakti Gyan Yagna, we commence with glorifying our katha, puja, dedicated to the feet of Lord Ganesh. As we all know, very shortly we all will be observing Ganesh Chaut or a Ganesh Chaturthi as well. And so Uncle Kenny has requested this beautiful katha. And as we are about to join in katha and journey through the depths of Sanatan Dharma, I invite you all to please sit upright. As we join our palms together, as we close the physical eyes, we join in pratna, we join in prayer. Bhagwan, हमें दया करो, हमें रक्षा करो, बारंबार नमस्कार करता हो. O Prabhu, may you accept all of our offerings and may continue to guide and protect us from time to time, we pray. Hari Om, Hari Om, हरि ओम। भगवान 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 हमें दया करो। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमो नमः। ओम श्री गुरु चरण कमलेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Salutations to Lord Ganesh. वक्रतुंडा महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम गजाननं भूतगणारिसेवितं कपितजम्बूफलसारभक्षितं उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारकं नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पारपङ्कजम्। Salutations to Devi Mart. सर्वमंगलमंगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। With love. या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दुर्गा रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। Salutations to Lord Shiva. हर हर जय शंकर। ओम हर 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 जय शंकर। ओम हर 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 जय शंकर। ओम हर हर। कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयादिवृन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। हर हर जय शंकर। ओम हर हर। नागेन्द्रहारा त्रिलोचनाय भस्मंहराय यमहेश्वराय नेताय शोधाय दिगंबराय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय। हर हर जय शंकर। ओम हर 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 जय शंकर। ओम हर हर ओम हर हर ओम हर। ओम सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामतरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। Salutations to Saraswati Ma. Salutations to the Divine Mother. बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। बोले गजानन स्वामी की। You know where I am from, it is in Gaspardo. And we have learned that when you say Jai, it means victory. So when you say Jai, you say it loudly. I don't know on this side if you say Jai softly. But if I was living inside here, I would have been saying Jai loudly. एक बार बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की, सत्य सनातन धर्म की। My dear friends, devotees and bhaktas, a beautiful katha taken from the Ganesh Upasana. The rishis and munis gathered together, they are asking of the great and learned rishi and sage Vedvyashi Maharaj to narrate to them about this Lord Ganesh, Pratham Dev Puja, the one who is the first deity to be worshipped, the one who is called Mangalamurti Morya, the Lord of auspiciousness, the one who removes all obstacles and hurdles. Sanatana Dharma teaches us that everything that we do in life, we must begin with offering salutations to Lord Ganesh. Hence the reason, at the beginning of every ceremony and ritual, we would say Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah, Om Shri Maha Saraswati Namah. We offer salutation firstly to Ganesh Baba, asking him to remove any obstacle that may be within our path, and may whatever endeavor become successful. So great is this Lord Ganesh. But they are asking, who is this Ganesh? He is called Gauri Nandan, he is called Shiva Nandan, the son of Shiva and the son of Gauri Parvati Ma. The Rishi says, once while Parvati Mata was sitting on Kailash Parvat, Bhagwan Shiva went to roam the earth. And while he was roaming the earth, Parvati Ma sit on Kailash, with Nandishwara at the very base of Kailash protecting her. And while she is there, she is chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. But while she is chanting Om Namah Shivaya, she hears someone coming. But a person is chanting Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Anybody knows who chants Narayan, Narayan, Narayan? Katha tells to us this evening as we journey through the depths of Sanatana Dharma. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva. जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा तब बोले नारद मिरदू तब बोले नारद मिरदू वचन एक सुनाइयो वचन एक सुनाई जय गणेश जय गणेश देव जय गणेश देवा जय गणेश देवा Narad Muni, my dear friends and devotees, he goes to the Devi and he says, "Oh Bhavani, please listen to something. But before I tell you anything, ma, can I ask you one question? Where is Bhagwan Shankar?" For those who know, whenever Narad Muni appears in a katha, you know what happens? Jai Bhagwan, some mischief is up to. Narad Muni asks, "Maya, oh Bhavani, where is Bhagwan Shankar?" And Parvati Mata Bhure, she says, "Oh Naradji, oh sage, Bhagwan Shankar is roaming the earth. He is protecting his devotees. He is giving darshan to them." And he says, "Ma, can I ask you something? Have you ever noticed Bhagwan Shankar in the form of Natraj, in the form of Bhutnath, he wears a mala made of heads or skulls?" And she says, "Yes." He says, "Ma, have you ever wondered whose head are those?" And she's listening to Narad Muni with amazement. Have you ever wondered whose head are those? In today's world, we see things, but we just take them for granted. We never question and never ask anything. Why? Because sometimes we just take things for granted, and how it hangs, so it swings. Whatever happens, it happens. Isn't that so? But in today's world, more than ever, we must learn to ask questions, especially pertaining to our dharma. Whenever we see something being done, we must ask why. We must ask questions, not for any other reason, but simply to learn about your dharma. Simply to learn about your dharma, my dear friends and devotees. And so, Parvati Mata, she says, "Narad, do you know?" But Narad Muni Bode, he says, "Maya, I am not in the place and position to explain that to you. You have to ask Mahadev, and he will tell to you." And Raspans, Narad Muni bowed to the feet of the Divine Mother, and he left Kailash. But upon leaving Kailash, he has already stirred up something in the mind of Bhavani Maya. She is walking from one end to the other, just like any ordinary wife. If you hear something about your husband and he isn't home, what would you do? When in today's world, you take up the cell phone and you will call him, or you WhatsApp him, or something of the sort. But back in the days, what would you do? You will walk from one end to the road and keep watching the road and going back, and you're watching the time. Isn't that so? I'm waiting for him to come here today. Oma laughing as though she know them days good. Isn't that so? Parvati Maya was from one end to the other, and she's waiting on Bodhinath. But what takes place? Katha tells to us. उमा कहा प्रभु नहीं जाऊं, उमा कहा प्रभु नहीं जानू, शंभु मुस्कानी कहा वो Bhagwan Shankar, he appears there. And Devi Maya, she says, "Oh Bholenath, whose head or whose skull do you wear in the form of Nataraj, in the form of Bhutanath?" And so, Bhagwan Shankar, he places her down to sit. You know why? He knows the reaction of his wife. Every husband will know the reaction of their wife. And prevention is always better than. This is why he told her, "Maya, please sit down." And he begins to explain, "Oma, every time that you took birth or manifestation to be wedded to me in the form of Parvati Ma, you are here now. But you are here in the form of Uma, in the form of Sati Devi. And every time that you took birth or manifestation and you had to leave this earth, Ma, I took those heads and I strung this mala to keep you close to me, O Maya." And so, Devi Maya, she says, "Oh Shankar, you are immortal. Death can't come close to you. But why do I have to take birth from time to time to be with you? Why don't you allow me? Why don't you bless me to become immortal?" And so, Bhagwan Shankar sits there and he says to Parvati Maya, "Uma, if you are to become immortal, there's a great long mantra that I should utter to you. But anyone or any being or creature that hears this mantra will become immortal as well." And she says, "Oh Shankar, if I am your wife, you will do anything for me. And if you love me, well, Jai Bhagwan, you will do anything for me." For those who are married, you know the ladies have a way in getting what they want. Bhagwan Shankar eventually, what he does, Katha tells to us this evening.
जय गणेश देवा, जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा, जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा, जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा।
एक बार बोले गजानन स्वामी की, he says, "Suno Maya, listen. If any creature or anyone hears this mantra, they too are going to become immortal. But that of which has taken birth, death is certain unto thee." But she insists. And why she's insisting, Bhagwan Shankar, he says, what trouble Narad came here and created. He took the Trishul and dashing the Trishul upon Kailash Parvat, all of the Krityas left Kailash because they got frightened. And once they left Kailash, Bhagwan Shankar begins to narrate the mantra. And while he is narrating this beautiful mantra, Devi Parvati sits on his left and she's saying Ha. Ha means yes. And while she's saying Ha, Prabhu, Bhagwan Shankar with closed eyes is uttering and chanting. But in a tree nearby, as the parrots and every being left on Kritya, a parrot's egg hatched. And the parrot began to grow. And as he is growing, the parrot is listening. And what parrot does? Oh, you don't know? Jai Bhagwan. The parrot, whenever he hears something, he will keep repeating it. If the parrot only hear Ma, whole day is Ma. My neighbor has one, and whole day they are not home, and the parrot boarding, where you gone? Jai Bhagwan. So I do go in my back shed. The parrot is going to repeat this mantra. When the parrot flies, he's going to utter this mantra. Many people is going to hear it. Bhagwan Shankar, he is hearing someone saying, Ha, Prabhu. But Parvati Maya, she fell asleep. And while she is sleeping, the parrot is answering, Ha, Prabhu, Ha, Prabhu. Jai Bhagwan. You know, like some of us when we go to Katha, Baba chanting and reading and Jai Bhagwan, you in Disney World and India, Taj Mahal all over the world. And while she is sleeping, the parrot is answering, Ha Prabhu. But when Bhagwan Shankar realized that it is not Parvati Devi and she is asleep and something else is answering, Bhagwan Shankar, he stands up. His eyes begin to get red. And as he looks upon the tree, he sees the parrot. He realizes that the parrot is going to chant this mantra everywhere that he goes, and this could create great problems in the world. Because that of which has taken birth, that is certain unto thee. And his parrot is going to utter this mantra. When he goes to his parrot family, and all the parrots learn this mantra, Jai Bhagwan. Just like some of us, isn't that so? When we hear something and then when we go and we tell somebody else, Jai Bhagwan, everybody knows. This is what he's worried about. Bhagwan Shankar, he becomes angry. Because this could create problems. Parvati Maya is asleep. And he holds a trishul with a dhamaru. And as he stands there, his hair begins to open. And while his hair is opening, Bhagwan Shankar holds a trishul in his hand. And he begins to knock the dhamaru. Shiva bam 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 bhola bachave dhamaru. Shiva bam 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 bhola bachave dhamaru. Bachave dhamaru, bachave dhamaru, bachave dhamaru, bachave dhamaru. Shiva bam 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 bhola bachave dhamaru. Shiva bam 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 bhola bachave dhamaru. Bhagwan Shankar, he dashes the dhamaru and the trishul to the ground. Devi Parvati wakes up, but he's dancing. When Bhagwan Shankar becomes angry, he dances the dance of the Tandava. He takes the roop of Natraj. And as he is dancing and Devi Parvati falls to his feet, he says, Oh Prabhu, maaf karo, please forgive me, O Bhagwan. But Bhagwan Shankar in this form, he says, Oh Parvati, leave Kailash. You can destroy the universe by your carelessness. When mantras are being uttered, they are sacred mantras. And you must never sleep when puja or mantras are being uttered and done. Bhagwan Shankar becomes angry. This is why long ago the elders will always teach us, whenever puja or katha or satsang is being done, never sleep. Because Bhagwan Shankar becomes angry. And so, when Bhagwan Shankar becomes angry, it could only bring destruction. Devi Parvati begged, Maaf karo Bhagwan, please forgive me. But he tells her to leave Kailash. And while he dances the dance of Vitandava, Parvati Maya, she walks through the Kishkinda. What takes place with his son? Koi charawe paan ko, koi charawe mala. कोई चरावे पान को कोई चरावे माला कोई मंगर मांग है निर्रंग माला शिवा बम 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 बाबा बम 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 भोला बचावे डमरू शिवा बम 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 भोला बचावे डमरू 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 शिवा बम 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 भोला बचावे डमरू शिवा बम 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 भोला बचावे डमरू शिवा बम 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 भोला उमापति महादेव की शंकर भगवान की. Bhagwan Shiva tells Parvati to leave Kailash. He's looking for the parrot and he's trying to capture the parrot. Otherwise, Parvati Maya, she leaves Kailash. She's walking through the forest. She meets her eldest son. Whom is the eldest son of Parvati Maya? Anybody knows? Kartikeya. He is called Murugan Subramanyam. Whilst Kartikeya Baba is within the forest region, he saw Parvati Devi coming. He immediately ran to her and bowed and received the blessing. Maya, why are you in the forest? And she explains to Kartikeya what took place. Kartikeya, he says, Maya, there is only one thing that could please my father. There is only one thing that could please my father and make him change his mind. I remind you, Oma, there's one thing you could do to win the heart of Lord Shiva. And that is worshipping Lord Shiva and chanting Om Namah Shivaya. Chanting Om Namah Shivaya with love and devotion. Performing simple offerings to Lord Shiva, but with faith and confidence, it pleases Lord Shiva. Many times when we have problems, or many times when we worship Lord Shiva, we question ourselves and ask ourselves, what can I do to please Lord Shiva? Bhagwan Shankar is the easiest God to please. By simply chanting Om Namah Shivaya with love and devotion, you can attain the grace and blessing of Lord Shiva. Devi Parvati, she sees a beautiful river streaming, and near to the river has a wonderful cave. So she decides that she's going to perform her tapasya, her devotion here. But before performing any devotion, one must firstly perform purification. Even before beginning our puja, what we will do? Baba will sprinkle some water in your hands. Om hasta prakshalam samarpayami. And he will tell you, "Bait, wash your hands. Sip the water and pass the water over your body for purification before performing your puja." Devi Maya goes at this very bank of the river and she sees the beautiful herbs. She sees the saffron. Saffron represents purity. This is why before any major samskar, we will besmear the hardi, the saffron on the skin, Janev samskar, Vivaha samskar, etc. Even when we perform the mundan samskar at birth and the head is shaved, the hardi is besmeared on the head for purification. She took the hardi and she took a stone together with the other herbs and she started to grind it. And then she began to besmear it on her skin. But while she's besmearing it on the skin and rubbing, the hardi and herbs together with the muck, the dirt from the skin is falling to the ground. But tears begins to flow from the eyes of Devi. Why tears is flowing from the eyes of Devi Ma? Katha tells to us this evening, as we listen very beautifully. Tears flows from the eyes of Devi as she thinks about her Shankar. And as she thinks about, as I'm going to worship Shankar, who is going to protect me? To ensure that my devotion isn't interrupted or disturbed. She collects the dirt together with the herbs and tears is flowing from her eyes. What takes place with her son? Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. प्रभावर सो समझो देवी माता सारणम
सत्यम करहु तुम्हा सिद्ध ही करहि ताता। जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम। Devi Maya, she takes the herbs together with the dirt and she creates a doll. And while she creates this doll, she's holding it, but she stands in the water and she begins to pray, and she's telling to Bhagwan Hari, Bhagwan Sri Vishnu, that this water is so powerful, for water itself has what? Life. Sanatana Dharma teaches us that. In the river Varun Devata resides, Ganga Mata. And so she says, Hari, this river, this water, it has life in it. And as I've created this doll, Bhagwan, I need someone to protect me and to ensure that my devotion isn't interrupted and doesn't go in waste. And she holds the doll, Bhagwan, I have faith in you. It is said that when we have faith in God, when we have confidence in Bhagwan, even the impossible becomes possible. Even the impossible becomes possible, but only when we have faith and confidence in God. In today's world, how many of us have faith in God? In today's world, how many of us have confidence in God? When we have a problem, and Baba said, be it fast for 5 days and offer dhar for Hanumanji, your problems will be no longer. The first day we offer the dhar. The second day, no change. We offer the dhar with 2 minds. By the third day, no change. We say, man, if nothing has happened today, well, I'm done with that. You offer the dhar, things get a little more difficult. You say, see that? God, I hear my prayer. My dear friends and devotees, you know why Bhagwan wasn't hearing your prayer? It isn't that he wasn't hearing your prayer, you know. It is that you didn't have faith in your prayer. It is that you didn't have confidence in your prayer. Because if you had faith and confidence in your prayer, when you offer the jal, you will say, Bhagwan, I know that you are going to remove my problems, O Prabhu. And that is when you have faith. Having faith is when you don't know how it's going to be okay. You don't know how things are going to work out. You don't know what's going to happen. But you know it will happen. You know that things will work out. Because Bhagwan is with you. That is faith. She says, Bhagwan, I have faith. I know that this water has life. And if I dip this doll, I know that you will place life into this doll. And as she holds the doll, Om Sri Narayanaya Namaha, she dips it down. Her eyes are closed. But what takes place? Kadhata is to us this evening. सुन भोले बचन भवानी, सुनो ताता मनु मम भानी, वारवा धरती कह जानी, गंगा यह हरित पावना। जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम। एक बार बुरे श्रमापति महादेव की जय। She has faith in Bhagwan Vishnu. How many of us have faith in God? Because of her faith that she had in God, as she dipped the doll into the water, with faith and confidence, she felt it was moving. As she opened her eyes, she doesn't see a doll, but she sees a child. The impossible becomes possible when you have faith in God. So if you want things to be okay in your life, if things isn't going to okay, that's okay. You know why? Nothing lasts forever. And will be okay, you know how? If you have faith in God and surrender to the feet of Bhagwan. And so she took this child and she says, "Oh Putra, I want you to listen to me. I want you to sit at the very entrance of this cave whilst I perform the pasya to your father. And whilst you sit there, take this dhanda." Everybody knows a dhanda? Everybody knows a lati? Lati mange? A dhanda is... You know how I know is a lati, right? Long time your grandmother used to ask if you want two lati. A dhanda is a stick. She gives him the dhanda and she says, "Sit at this entrance and do not allow anyone to enter into this cave." And while she sits there, she begins to pray. And while she is praying, my dear friends and devotees, she creates a Prithvi Linga. And as she creates the Prithvi Linga, she worships Lord Shiva. And she sits there with faith and she chants Om Namah Shivaya. Beautifully, Devi Maya, she prays to Lord Shiva. Time is passing by, and as time passes by, days are passing, weeks are passing, months are passing, but she doesn't give up in her prayer. If it was any one of us here, we might have given up. But Devi Ma, she didn't give up. As time passed, her devotion got more intense, more strong. And while she prays to Lord Shiva, she will take water and she offers a pour the Prithvi Linga. With love and devotion, day after day, she says, "Lord, I know that one day you will listen to my prayer. I know that one day you are going to answer my prayer, Lord." This is the faith that we all should have in today's world. We complain that things are getting difficult. We complain that we are faced with so many problems in life. And what should we do about it? Take it to God. Take your problems to Bhagwan. Ask Bhagwan to lift you out of your problems. You see Hanumanji, he's holding that beautiful mountain. He will lift you out of your problems. But have faith in him. She offers the water and she prays. Om Namah Shivaya. Brahma Murari Sudachita Lingam Niramala Bhashita Shobhita Lingam Janamada Dukkha Vinashaka Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Paravarchitalingam Amararam Karunakaraling Ravanadara Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sadashivalingam. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. this evening, my dear friends, whether it's in the comfort of your home, whether it's here in our Yajyashala, I want you to pray to Lord Shiva. Whatever problems you're experiencing, surrender to the feet of Lord Shiva this evening. As Devi Maya performs Linga Puja, as she chants Om Namah Shivaya with love and devotion, so too let us all pray. Sarva Sugandhi Sulipittalingam Burhi Vidavaradan Kadalingam Siddhasura Vandittalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Om Namah Shivaya 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Bhagwan. If that is the faith all you have in Lord Shiva tonight, but God, Jai Bhagwan. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Now I will tell all of you a secret tonight as the first night. Baba do here too? Good. Everybody should know that by now. You know, just this morning, whilst I was on my way here, I stopped for breakfast. And as I ordered the breakfast, a man said, "Are you Pundit Shivan?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I recognize you by your voice. Remember, you do hear too good." I said, "Jai Bhagwan." So imagine a man on the way here knows that. So I think everybody here should know that tonight. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Umapati Mahadeva ki. Whilst Parvati Maya prays the Lord Shiva, and whilst time is passing by, her devotion is getting more and more strong. But Parvati Maya doesn't know that she's Mahadevi. Parvati Mata doesn't know that she is Jagat Janani Mata. She doesn't know the ability that resides within her, just like each and every one of us here. We all are great and we all are powerful and we all are capable of doing great things in this world. But you know what happens? We doubt ourselves. Isn't that so? Sometimes great ideas come into our mind and then we say, "Nah, I can't do that. That's not for me. I will fail." It is better to try and fail than to fail too. We all are great and powerful. We all are part and parcel of God. Shivoham, Shivoham. So you could do great things. Never belittle yourself. Devi Maya is just like us. She doesn't know how great or how powerful she is. But why she prays? She is Jagat Janani Mata. Jagat Janani Mata is known as whom? Durga Devi. She is called Mahashakti. She is the energy of the universe. And while she prays, that energy begins to awaken. And while she's in Samadhi, the world, the universe begins to shake. Why? That Shakti, that energy is so powerful that the earth cannot bear the weight of it. The Devatas begin to get worried. So immediately they went to Indradev and they said, "Bhagwan, someone has to stop Parvati from praying. She will destroy the universe. The earth cannot bear the weight of that Shakti, of that energy." And so, Indradev together with the Devatas, they went to Kailash Parvat. And upon reaching to Kailash Parvat, they began to pray to Lord Shiva. Om Nagendrahara Yatrilochanaya Basmangaraya Yamaheshwaraya Nithaya Shudhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya Om Namah Shivaya. And why is they pray to Lord Shiva? He realizes the voice of the Devas. He opens his eyes. And as he opens his eyes, he sees Indradev together with all of the Devatas. He asks the Devatas, what has brought you to Kailash Parvat? And they have explained that Devi Mata has to be stopped. She will destroy the universe by that energy, that Shakti. Anu Shankar, you are the only one to stop her. Because she is praying to you. Bhagwan Shiva doesn't utter another word. He doesn't say anything. When Bhagwan is going to help you, when Bhagwan is going to get rid of your problems, he don't tell you, wait, don't worry, I will take away your problems. He leaves you to wander, to test your faith, to see if you will give up. Sometimes things may get a little more difficult because the earth started to shake a little bit more. The Devatas wasn't sure what Lord Shiva was going to do. As they left Kailash, they just looked. But they had faith in Lord Shiva. Bhagwan Shankar left Kailash. And as he walks through the forest region, he's looking for the Devi. He sees a beautiful cave. And where that cave is seen, there's an aura. Everybody knows what's an aura. A beautiful light over the cave that is attracting Lord Shiva to go there. Everybody know what's an aura? Everybody has an aura. When your aura is good, you'll be attracted to good things and good people. You know, sometimes you see someone for the very first time and you feel comfortable with that person. You feel as though you have known this person for years. In local language, you say, you know what? My blood take that person. That is when the person's aura is good. And then sometimes you see somebody and Jai Bhagwan. In local language, you say, my blood I take that person. Isn't that so? That's when the aura is not so good. Bhagwan Shankar goes to the cave and he sees this little boy with a dhanda. As he sees Shankar walking, coming, he raises one eyebrow. You know why? Who is this man? With a blue throat, wearing a tiger skin as clothing, Mriga Chala, and wearing a serpent around his neck. Who is this man? Imagine you don't know him. But you see a man walking up the hill, wearing a Mriga Chala, with vibhuti, bhashma, with a snake around his neck. Hara Hara Mahadev. He started to walk with the dhanda from one end of the cave to the other. And as Bhagwan Shankar reaches there, he says, I must enter into this cave, for my Parvati is performing worship. And this little boy, he knocks the dhanda. He says, you can't enter into the cave, for my mother is performing tapasya, whose name is Parvati. Lord Shiva is confused. My wife, whose name is Parvati, in real life, my wife's name is Parvati, is performing tapasya, and you are telling me your mother Parvati is performing tapasya. Jai Bhagwan. As Lord Shiva attempts to enter into the cave, the little boy takes the dhanda and he blocks the entrance. Lord Shiva is becoming angry. He says there's only one way you could enter in this cave. You must battle with me. And only if you win the battle, then you could go. And the boy holds the danda in his hand and he's knocking it on the ground. What takes place? Bhagwan Shankar holds the Trishul in his hand. And as he holds the Trishul, he begins to dance. Namah Shivaya Shantaya Bambola Baba. Namah Shivaya Shantaya Bambola Baba. Bola Baba Bam. Bola Baba Bam. Bola Baba. Bola Baba Bam. Bola Baba Bam. Bola Baba. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya Prabhu. Namah Shivaya Shantaya Bambola Baba. Namah Shivaya Shantaya Bambola Baba. He Sukahari, He Dukahari, He Bola Baba. He Sukahari, He Dukahari, He Bola Baba. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya Prabhu, Namah Shivaya Shantaya Bambola Baba. Namah Shivaya Shantaya Bambola Baba. Bhagwan Shankar holds the Trishul, and as he holds the Trishul, he commands the Trishul to go before the boy. Why? He has to save the universe. And as the Trishul goes towards the boy, he holds the danda, and the power that is coming with that Trishul, it takes off the head of this child. Going your jhanas away, he falls to the ground headless, and blood is oozing out of his body. My dear friends, many may say, but what type of God is that? It is the Leela of Lord Shiva. This child is the child of Parvati. But Shiva must have an input into his life now, into his creation and manifestation, for him to become the child of Shiva, to become Shivananda. This is the Leela of Shiva, the Leela of this child, the Leela of the Mahadevi. He must save the universe. And so, Bhagwan Shankar enters into the beautiful cave. And as he enters there, he is watching the Devi praying. What takes place? Kadha tells why. He Parameshwara, Uma Maheshwara, Bola Baba. He Parameshwara, Uma Maheshwara, Bola Baba. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Shantaya, Bambola Baba. Namah Shivaya, Shantaya, Bambola Baba. Bola Baba Bam, Bola Baba Bam, Bola Baba. Bola Baba Bam, Bola Baba Bam, Bola Baba. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Shantaya, Bambola Baba. Namah Shivaya, Shantaya, Bambola Baba. Namah Shivaya, Shantaya, Bam. Mahapati Mahadeva ki. Shankar Bhagwan enters the cave and he stands there. He sees Devi Maya praying and he looks at her. If you are about to offer your jal or you are praying, or your eyes are closed, and someone is looking at you, you could feel that energy. Devi Maya feels that energy. And while she feels that energy, she gently opens her eyes. Remember, she's praying for Lord Shiva to come. And as she opens her eyes, she sees the snake crawling. Wherever there are snakes, who is around? Hara Hara Mahadev. I am not around. She sees the little snakes and she knows Lord Shiva is here. She sees the cobra, and as she turns around, she sees a Shiva. She falls to his lotus-like feet and tears his flame from her eyes. Because this is what she was praying for Shankar to come. And as she falls on the ground, my dear friends, and it tears his flame from her eyes, it begins to wash the feet of Lord Shiva. And washing the feet of Lord Shiva, she begins to pray, Bhagwan, maaf karo. May you please forgive me. For I have made a great mistake, Bhagwan. But I have learned from my mistakes. In today's world, we all make mistakes from time to time. Isn't that so? We are not perfect. We are only human beings. And if someone could say that they never made a mistake or they don't make mistakes, jhoot tabode. Because nobody is perfect. But when we make mistakes, what we must do? We must learn from our mistakes. She says, Bhagwan, I have learned from my mistake. Please forgive me. And as Lord Shiva holds Devi Parvati, he raises her. And upon raising her, she remembers my putra, my son. But where's my son, O Shankar? How did you enter into this cave? And as she looks to the side, she doesn't see him. And Bhagwan Shiva begins to laugh. And as she looks at the entrance, she sees blood coming into the cave. She doesn't wait for him to answer. She runs out. Her belly begins to pain. Any mother will know this. The Katha describes that the belly of Parvati Mata begins to pain. An unbearable pain that words cannot describe. She ran at the entrance of the cave and seeing this child lifeless with blood oozing out of his body, her eyes get red. The love that a mother has for that child. She passes her hand over the body of this child. And as tears is flowing from her eyes, she stands up. Her hair begins to grow. She begins to get tall. And as she stands there, her eyes is red in complexion. Whom is this Devi? The Katha tells to us this evening. Jai Durga. Jai Jai Durga. Jai Durga. She takes the roop and the form of Durga. She takes that Shakti Bhan, that energetic form. She is ready to destroy the universe because that child is lying here without a head. And who is the first one she wants to destroy now? The one whom she has prayed for to come. She wants to destroy him. She holds the Trishul, the very Trishul in her hand. And she looks at Shankar. She points the Trishul towards him. And what takes place? She begins to dance. Jai Durga, Jai Jai Durga, Jai Durga Jagadambe Durga Kali Ma, Jai Jai Jagadamba Tu Shiravali Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Ma Devi Ma, Jai Durga. Jagadambe Durga Kali Ma, Jai Jai Jagadamba Tu Shiravali Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Ma Devi Ma. She holds the Trishul. She points at the Lord Shiva and she says, Oh Shankar, you must put back life into this child. Otherwise I will destroy this universe. She knows how powerful she is now. She knows how powerful she is. Sometimes in life, we have to go through the hardest things in life to realize and recognize how powerful we are, how great we are. Because when we are in our comfort zone, we don't realize how great and powerful and how strong you are. Your strength is tested in your weakest moments. And this is what happened. She's in pain. She's crying for her son. But yet, she gains courage and strength. She could destroy the entire universe now. Bhagwan Shankar called his gunners. And as he called his gunners, what takes place? We listen. Jai Devi Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali Re. Adi Shakti Ma Jagati Janani Ranchandi Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali Re, Jai Devi Mahakali. She said, oh Shankar, bestow life back upon this child before I destroy this universe. When a mother's child is hurt, she takes a fierce form. Bhagwan Shankar called his gunners and he says, goes to the north and bring back the first head that you see. Bring back the first head that you see. And as the gunners goes to the north, they see this elephant stuck in the mud. And as they saw this elephant, they rescued him and they brought back the head of this elephant to Bhagwan Shankar. And bringing the head of the elephant to Lord Shiva, he stands on one end, Brahmaji, Vishnu Bhagwan creating a triangle, and from the eye of Lord Shiva, a light is being seen. It connects to Brahmaji, and from the third eye of Brahma, a light connects to Lord Vishnu. And from Lord Vishnu's third eye, a light connects to Lord Shiva. That energy of destruction, creation, and the preservation of this earth is being manifested. And so, the body of this child is inside of this triangle. Holding the head together, they began to pray. And Lord Shiva, He's instilling life back into the body of this child, and he begins to pray. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Bam 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 bola bam 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 bola bam 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 bola. Dimi taka bridanga bola. Hara bam 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 bola. Dimi taka bridanga bola. Hara bam bam bola. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Bure Surmapati Mahadeva ki. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Whilst uttering the beautiful mantras, through the energy of the devas, life has been instilled back into the body of this child. The Devata, the Shank is being heard. And the child sits up now, but with the head of an elephant. Parvati Maya, as Lord Shiva looks at her, he thought that he would see her very happy. But she was still sad. Why? Why is Devi Maya sad? She's thinking to herself, Just as I was hurt when I saw my child lying there lifeless, without a head. When the elephant comes and see the calf without a head, lying there lifeless, how would that elephant feel? Devi Ma is teaching us a valuable lesson for life. How many of us think about others? How many of us, before we speak, we think how would it affect others? Isn't that so? Sometimes you just blow it from aside. That is me sometimes. Without asking a question. But have you ever thought how would it affect others? Before we do something, do we think about others? Or do we think about only I, myself? As I've mentioned, none of us are perfect. And we all will make mistakes. But we must learn from our mistakes and seek forgiveness. She asked Lord Shiva, what will happen to this calf? And he says that calf, the Atma has attained mukti, liberation. It is a blessing for the head of that calf to now serve a Devta. For the calf has attained mukti, liberation, oneness. It has no more karma to pay on this earth. She felt contented by hearing these words. And so, Devi Maya embraced this child. And all of the Devas there now, they're going back to Kailash Parvat. And while they sit on Kailash, you see, Lord Shiva, if you look on your right, you will see Lord Shiva is sitting with Parvati Maya. Ganesh Baba on one side and Kartikeya Baba, Nandishwara is even there. And they are sitting. The Devas are now giving Vardhan and blessing to this child. Who is this child? This child is Ganesh. And while they are giving Vardhan, Lord Shiva looked at him and he said, from today onwards you'll be known as Ganapati, the Lord of the Ganas, the Dutas of Lord Shiva. He is known as the chief commander of the Dutas of Lord Shiva. Devi Maya looks at him and she says, you'll be called Hidamba, the mother's beloved child. Because this child was like me. Angel Dev said, you'll be known as Lamborada. He was now given various blessings. He has 4 arms. What are some of the blessings the Devatas are giving to this child? The Katha tells to us. Ganapati, Jai Jai Ganapati. Ganapati, Jai Jai Ganapati. Ganapati, Ganapati, Palayama. Ganapati, Surapati, Mahapati, Gajapati. Ganapati, Ganapati, Palayama. Ganapati, 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 Palayama. Ganapati, Surapati, Mahapati, Gajapati. Ganapati, Ganapati, Palayama. Ganapati, Lambora. Ganapati, Vignaharta. Ganapati, Vigneshwar. Ganapati, 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 Palayama. Ganapati, Surapati, Mahapati, Gajapati. Ganapati, Ganapati, Palayama. As Yamadev, he went before Lord Ganesh. And from the noose of Lord Ganesh, of Yamraj, as you all know, Yamraj has a noose, right? If you didn't know that, one day we all will learn that. And that noose is to pull what? A noose is a rope. And is used to pull the Atma, the soul, out of the body. You know, sometimes when we are about to die, and you see people fighting and they say, no, not yet. That is when Yamraj is pulling the soul. When we are attached to this world, we do not want to go. How many of us, if Yamraj came and said, who ready to go, you're going? Hey, Bhagwan uncle, only you are alone. Yeah? He uses his noose to pull out the Atma from the body. He says, oh Ganesh, I gave you this noose. From that noose another appeared. And he said, Ganesha, today I give this to you. I want you to use this noose to pull your devotees closer to their goals in life. Ganesha bowed to the noose. You look at the Murti. In one hand, he holds a rope. He is given a Parshu, an axe. If you look on the other hand, he holds an axe. And it's told by Parshuram that as I give you this axe, this Parshu, use it to cut the attachment of your devotees from this material world. When we pray to Lord Ganesh, he cuts all attachment from this material world. He holds an axe. He holds a Padma. Sometimes he's seen holding a flower, Padma, which signifies love. And he's seen holding what? A bowl of Modak or Laddu. This is the rewards, the sweet, the mitai. The rewards that he gives to his devotees when you perform good sadhana, when you do good things. And also it reminds you that he loves to eat. One hand is giving what? Vardhan, blessing. So one is either holding the Modak or Padma lotus, and the other hand is the Abhya Mudra, it's giving blessing to all of his devotees. Lord Ganesh is seen there beautifully standing, and is given various blessings to become the one who is known as Pratham Dev Puja, the first deity to be worshipped. He is known as Vignaharta, the one who removes all sorrows and all problems and hurdles in the life of his devotees. Mangaramurti, the Lord of auspiciousness. So many beautiful Vardhan. And as he sits there, my dear friends and devotees, the Devatas begin to worship. They begin to pray to Lord Ganesh. The Devas, they are praying. Ganapati Baba Moria Mangala Murti. With clasped hands together they are praying, O Ganesh, may you bless us. May you guide us and may you protect us. And whilst they are praying to Lord Ganesh, Bhagwan, may you be always a part of our lives to remove every obstacle in our lives. Sukha karta dukha harta mera Ganapati Baba Moria. Sukha karta dukha harta mera Ganapati Baba Moria. Ganapati Baba Moria Mangala Murti. He is the one who removes all sorrow and bestows the blessing of happiness. This is what they are praying for. He is seen sitting there on Kailash. And as he sits there, my dear friends and devotees, and as we look at the image of Lord Ganesh, very shortly we all are going to observe Ganesh Utsav. And we will see so many beautiful murtis of Lord Ganesh. I personally think that in today's world, we are making Lord Ganesh now and creating God. Because the Ganesh Puran and the Ganesh Upasana describes Lord Ganesh in this way that we all know. But now I see Lord Ganesh with Basuri. I see Lord Ganesh playing Dholak. I see Lord Ganesh playing organ. I see Lord Ganesh playing cricket for Ganesh Utsav. I think tomorrow I'm starting. Jai Baba. Because we create things now that we think that is to attract people. You see Ganapati Baba sitting all home, doing all sorts of things. And today's world, we are so trapped in the material world that when we see these things, we say, oh, I've never seen a Ganesh like that. But my dear friends, we must always remember there are different chalisa for every Devi and Devta. And every chalisa describes the Devi and Devta. And that is how they should be. And that is how they should look. Always remember that. The Ganesh Chalisa describes Lord Ganesh holding a noose, a parshu, laddu, and abhya mudra. Nothing else. Everything else that we see, well, Jai Shri Ram, it's commercial. Lord Ganesh is seen with a big head. The elephant head. What does this teach us? To always think big. Never belittle yourself. You are powerful and you are great. He is seen with a little mouth. Sometimes you can't even see the mouth of Lord Ganesh in the murti. His mouth is so small, but its ears is how? Very huge. You know what that is teaching us? I feel somewhere, you know. To speak less and to listen. Oh, you never hear that? To speak less and to listen. And what we just do? We just talk more and listen. Talk more and listen less. Ganesh Baba teaches us to listen more and talk less. Lord Ganesh has a beautiful elephant trunk. When we are placing Chandan on the Murti of Lord Ganesh, how do we place the Chandan? The Ganesh Upasana teaches us that when we are placing Chandan to Lord Ganesh, you must start at the beginning of the trunk, and you must place the Chandan going upwards. Bhagwan, may you remove my obstacles. Whilst you are placing the Chandan, you pray and you seek the blessing of Ganesh. The trunk of Lord Ganesh represents the Kundalini when worshipped. We start at the very beginning and it's awakening you spiritually when worshipped. Lord Ganesh has 4 hands as described just now. One holding the parshu, the axe, to cut the attachment of the devotees. The noose to pull you closer to your goal. Abhya mudra giving blessing. And of course the modak, the rewards for your sadhana, your good deeds. But Lord Ganesh is seen with what? A huge, look on your right. I'm talking about the pitya. A huge stomach. Ganapati Baba Moria. With a huge stomach that is teaching us not to eat plenty, yeah? But you know we like chana and aloo and roti and thing. Jai Bhagwan. On that topic, you know many people say, Baba, you mustn't eat the pressed food. You see the size you're getting? But when Baba says, well, I go eat bed, they say, well, that Baba feel it too good. Baba, you mustn't eat the parsad. And people just tell you that. Don't eat the parsad because they make it with flour. And flour is good to eat. And don't eat the parsad because you have ghee oily. You will get heart attack and dead. And the parsad sweet, you will get sugar. And they tell you that. But they tell you, don't worry, when we're going down the road, we will stop for ice cream and cake. It has no flour. It's not sweet. And you wouldn't get sugar. Isn't that so? Parsad is not to eat agar bhagar. I always teach the devotees in the mandir. When you're passing the parsad, don't put 1 pound. So I start to buy some half pound, quarter pound bag. You put a little bit. Long ago, you would get how much parsad? A little bit. Parsad is just a blessing. Not to fill your belly, have food for that. So you wouldn't get heart attack, you wouldn't get sugar, and you wouldn't get too fat. You just eat the prasad for the blessing. You bow to the prasad and you eat it. And you put a little bit, not because you're stingy, but when the yajna finish, you wouldn't see half bag there and quarter bag there and one bag chook in the fancy bread. And you see the prasad wasting all over. Isn't that so? And in reality today, nothing is cheap. Isn't that so? So we must not waste. A little bit, you wouldn't dare it, you will live. And you will still get a blessing. Lamborai has a huge stomach, which teaches us to peacefully digest the good and the bad in life. We'll always have good and bad situations, but we must peacefully digest them. Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that everything that happens in life, we must see that prasadam, an offering from God. Why? Because there's good in it. We may not see it today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day to come. There is good in it. I'm sure sometimes things happen in your life and you get vexed. And then 1 month down the road, you say, boy, it's a good thing that happened, yes? Isn't that so? Sometimes in the morning, I get up a little late to go to the studio and I hurry in going. I don't drive faster, mind you. And then after, you know what? While I was going up the road, I see a big accident. I say, Jai Bhagwan. It's a good thing I get up a little late. Otherwise, I would have been passing the same time. Everything happens for a reason. And we see the good in it one day to come. So peacefully digest the good and the bad that life brings. Lord Ganesh is seen with a moshak. The moshak he's called Crouch Mahamuni. You want to know about this moshak? This moshak represents your desires. The moshak, everybody saw a moshak already, right? Or you don't know there's a moshak on the side. Or you ever see Tom and Jerry? Not Tom, Jerry. And when you see the moshak is very chanchal. He's very chanchal. Which one is the moshak? It's Jerry, right? He's very chanchal. And why is he very chanchal? He represents your desires. Our desires is like this. But sometimes when we desire things, we don't care how we will get it. What you have to do to get it, but you will get it. Isn't that so? It's a good way of thinking. But never allow your desires to take you for a ride. Sometimes in life, you must accept things happen for a reason when things don't work out well. Do not allow your desires to take you for a ride. That is what the moshak represents. And when Ganapati Baba sits on the moshak, he controls your desires and have it well under control. This is Lord Ganesh, the first deity that is worshipped, the remover of all obstacles. As we conclude Katha, the Devas perform Arti, worship the Lord Ganesh. And so they are asking, O Pratham Dev, O Ganapati Baba, please tell to me what pleases you. As we conclude Katha, we listen through the medium of the Ganesh Upasana. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva. Oh Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha. पूजे गणपति कर जोर खाई पूजे गणपति कर जोर खाई दरी चरण शिरनाई हो दरी चरण शिरनाई जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा स्तुति करता अन्य कहवेरी स्तुति करता अन्य कहवेरी सुनो राजा राई हो सुनो राजा राई जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देव ओ जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देव ओ जय गणेश जय गणेश जय बुरे गजानन स्वामी की What pleases Lord Ganesh? Lord Ganesh has a huge belly. Anybody can tell me? Modak, laddu, mitai, not doubles. All of these beautiful things. This is why we have different types of laddu. Because Lord Ganesh loves his just like me. But when these mitai and these prasad is offered to Lord Ganesh with love and with devotion, we can make all the prasad and make it with bad mind. You know, sometimes we do that. We can make all the prasad and make it with abhiman. Man, I can show them how to make laddu. I'll make the best laddu. Nobody can make laddu like me. And then when you fry in the dalit bun, Jai Bhagwan. When things are prepared like this, Lord Ganesh will never partake of it. When it is prepared with love and devotion, no matter what it is or how simple it is, He will accept it. Remember in Bhagavad Katha, one night we are going to do that Katha. Sudama carried what for Lord Krishna? Some parched rice. He was the king of Mathura, of Dwarka, and he had all the food and mitai, but he partook of this very parched rice. Why? It was prepared with love and devotion. And that teaches us, we don't need all sorts of fancy things to please God or to offer to God. Whatever simple, whatever you could afford, offer it to God. But prepare it with love and devotion. Offer it with love and devotion, and He will accept it. Ek baar bole Sri Gajanan Swami ki, Satya Sanatan Dharma ki. This evening, whilst we join in our Havan, Puja, this evening joining with us, my wonderful Bhaiya, Pundit Dharan, I will ask him to lead us in a beautiful bhajan at this point in time. Sama Prabha
सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय जय।
एक बार बुरे श्री गजानन स्वामी की सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। My dear friends, devotees and bhaktas, Kraucha, I invite you all to please stand as we join our Purna Mahuti offering, our final offering into the holy and sacred fire. Om Purnamidha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Shantihi Swaha Achman Om Sarva Papaharam Divyam Gangayam Nirmalam Jaram Achmanyam Mayaratam Grihanam Parameshwara. We fan the fire east, west, north, south to the heavens. Om Baraspati Rasura Bhutoyo Ganyu Ganyutamaha Agrahana Sarvarevanam Dupoyam Brati Grahitam. Let us all take blessing. Om Bhurvasvaha Tat Saviturvarinyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Ek baar bole again Devta ki jai. This evening, my dear friends and devotees, we join in our final arti. And as we wave the sacred lamp of arti, we join in Shivaji ki arti as we surrender to the feet of Lord Shiva. Om Sajam Chavarati Samyuktam Vahina Yochetamaya Deepagrihana Devasya Trahirukyati Mirapaham. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. 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 Jai Shiva Omkara Prabhu Hara Shiva Omkara. Jai Shiva Omkara Prabhu Hara Shiva Omkara. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev.
चतुरानन पंचानन राजे ओ एकानन चतुरानन पंचानन राजे सानन गरुडासन वृषवाहन साजे ओम सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम बाबा सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम दो भुजे चार चतुर भुजा दस भुजति सोहे ओ दो भुजे चार चतुर भुजा दस भुजति सोहे तीनों रूप निरतका त्रिभुवन जन मोहे ओम सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम ओम सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम अक्षमाला बनमाला मुन्नमाला धारी ओ अक्षमाला बनमाला मुन्नमाला धारी चंदन मृगमर सोहे भोले शशिधारी ओम हर 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 महादेव बाबा हर 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 महादेव श्वेतांबर पीतांबर भागंबर अंगे ओ श्वेतांबर पीतांबर भागंबर अंगे ब्रह्मादिक सनकारिक प्रेतादिक संगे ओम हर 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 महादेव ओम हर 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 महादेव कमंडलू और त्रिशूलधारी ओ कर रे कमन मंडलू और त्रिशूलधारी सुखकारी दुखहारी जगपालनहारी ओम हर 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 महादेव ओम हर 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 महादेव त्रिगुण स्वामी जी की आरती जो कोई नर गावे ओ त्रिगुण स्वामी जी की आरती जो कोई नर गावे कहत शिवानंद स्वामी मन वांछित पावे ओम हर 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 महादेव ओम हर 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 महादेव जय शिव ओंकारा प्रभु हर शिव ओंकारा जय शिव ओंकारा प्रभु हर शिव ओंकारा ओम हर 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 महादेव 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 बम भोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे भोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे। बाबा की दाम पर गंगा की दार पर गंगा की दार। बाबा की दाम पर गंगा की दार पर गंगा की दार। सबके रतवा बाबा दुआ, सबके रतवा बाबा दुआ। बम बोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे। बम बोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे। ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय। Because once together we surrender to the feet of Bhagwan, O Prabhu. May you guide us and may you protect us. We thank you once more for a beautiful opportunity this evening to join in prayer and to pray as one family. Bhagwan, may you bless the members of this wonderful family this evening for giving all of us the opportunity to join in prayer. May you bless all those who are joining here at our Yagya Shala. And may you bless all those who are joining with us by our live stream. O Prabhu, may you guide us and may you protect us, we pray. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Jaradhanam Yat Pujitam Maya Deva Paripurnam Tarasrami Kahina Vacha Manasendreva Puryatmana va prakritim subhautam Karome yagya sakalam parashmai Narayanaiti samarapayami. Together, with love and devotion, we pray. Tvameva mata chapita tvameva tvameva jasaka tvameva tvameva vidya Dravinam tvameva tvameva sarvam mama dhiva tvameva sarvam. Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. With hands clasped together, we turn to the person next to you as you say Sitaram. Shakabaraka Hore Sitaram 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 Shakabaraka Hore Sitaram 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 Sitaram. This evening as we say Sitaram, we bow to the divinity within each and every one of us. For God is within each and every one. For Bhagavan is here, there and everywhere. Shakabaraka Hore Sitaram 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 Sitaram. बुरे गजानन स्वामी की, उमापति महादेव की, आज शक्ति दुर्गा माता की, एक बार बोले कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की, पवन पुत्र मान की, गजानन स्वामी की, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय जय सीताराम. You have respectful seats. Arti Prasad Panchamrit to come your way. Bhojan is prepared for each and every one. My dear friends and devotees, I extend an invitation once more again to join with us tomorrow evening as we journey through the depths of the Shiv Mahapuran. Jai Sitaram.